Hello, my name is Sam Sloan. I'm a candidate for President of the United States. I want to tell you about one of my hobbies. I believe that everybody who's been adopted, there's 6 million people have been adopted in America. Everybody who's over the age of 21 should be entitled to have their own birth certificate, and they should be able to allowed to find out who their real parents were as long as they're over 21 years old. I got interested in adoption rights. I believe that the thing that first got me interested in, as far as I know, no member of my family has been adopted, either in or out. But my mother, because she was a child psychiatrist, was involved with adoptions because any pregnant woman who gave birth to a child and she wanted to give away her child for adoption had to come to my mother, and my mother had to give her a psychiatric evaluation to make sure that it was proper for this young woman to give away her child for adoption. So I got interested in this subject actually through my mother being a child psychiatrist, not because I was ever involved in it. Now, what I do is I am able to find the parents of any person who has been adopted. It's a long process, but I want to summarize how I do this, how this is done. I'm not the great expert. There are people who are more expert than me, but it's one of the things that I do as kind of a hobby. I've found several people, several of my girlfriends who have given away children for adoption. I was able to find the children and get them back, again, because they were over 21 years old. What I do is simply, I have the DNA test. There are 3 companies that give DNA tests. The one I recommend is called Family Tree DNA. The other 2 are 23andMe, and the third one is Ancestry.com, who's just got into the business of DNA, so they don't have as big a database of customers, but they are actively advertising on TV. What they do essentially is you test with any one of these 3 companies, or what I would recommend testing by all 3 of them, because they all have different databases. So you take the DNA test from each of these countries. It costs about $99 for each one. So you take 3 DNA tests, you spend like $300. And then what they do is they give you a list of cousins. They'll give you a list, and then you upload your results to another company called GEDmatch.com, GEDmatch.com, and then GEDmatch will give you a list of 3,000 relatives of yours. And then with those 3,000, but they will not be close relatives. They will be like 4th cousins, for example. That means you have a great-great-great-grandfather in common, but you'll have 3,000 4th cousins. So what you do is you build a family tree of all these people, and you there's 2 websites that do this, Ancestry.com and MyHeritagecom. You take these 3,000 names who you know are your relatives, and you know that they're 4th cousins, and then you build a huge family tree with all these people on it, and then you connect them all together, and you eventually, it takes months and months of work to do this. This is not an easy job. I just want to explain this. This is not something real simple, but it works. Eventually, you'll build a family tree with all these people on it, and you eventually get down to the point where at the bottom of the tree, and that person will be you, because you will be related to all these people, and with work, effort, time, and so on, you will be able to find who your real parents are, or if you've given away the child for adoption, you'll be able to find who and where your child is.